Here's a quick tutorial on pit strategy in the Star Mazda for this week. Really for any track this would work. Basic, what you want to do is generally always start with the maximum amount of fuel. I only have 3 gallons right now for just practicing, but for a race you would start with 6.1, and then when you come in for your pits you want to take 2 gallons. The weight penalty of the fuel is not as much as the time lost on the fueling. So the theory of starting with a really low fuel load, doing some quick out laps and then coming in and taking on more fuel, the math does not add up. It's better to do heavy fuel, run your stint, and then come in and take fuel on. If you get caught in traffic or something like that, you can always come in earlier and take the same fuel. Just be carrying more fuel throughout the stint, but definitely not a good idea to start light and then add a lot more fuel later. It takes too long. So on the grid, you'll want to just make sure you have your tires checked if you want to replace those or not. Would recommend not taking tires. You're going to pit. I'm going to take 2 gallons, which is what I would take if in the race if I had started with 6. So make sure that's checked before the race. And you grid, you take off, you do your hot lap. Make sure you have a button set for pit speed limiter. That is very important to have. You don't want to come into the pits and blow through the pit lane and get a 15-second speeding in the pits. So going to do your lap as normal. Always a good idea before you get into the pits, before you're ready to make your stop, double check. Make sure that you haven't accidentally ticked to add tires or add 6 gallons of fuel when you only need 2 or 3. Want to make sure you don't make a really bad mistake on that. So again, I'll uncheck these, make sure those are ready to go. Excuse the driving here, I'm messing with my buttons. That should always be done on the grid because I pulled out of the pit lane, it reset. So you're going to come in here at speed, going to make this left. It'll show you around in here where the speed limit is, but you won't actually get the penalty until you hit these yellow cones here. I'm going to hit my pit lane limiter before I get there. Come down here to the lollipop guy and make my stop. You'll see the pit service time going there. It's refueling. And I'm off. As soon as he lifts the lollipop, I'm going to take off. Keep your pit lane limiter on until you reach the green cones, and then you are off. So careful not to speed past the yellow cones on the way in. And that's it. I've seen some guys asking, how do you do the pits? What's the strategy? In case anybody didn't read all the forums or isn't aware, that is basically what you want to do.